Hi everybody, it's Rob Palaccio here. This is my weekend report or update, and basically it's a video journal to you about the things I'm keeping an eye on in regards to the mortgage market, and I hope you enjoy it. So the things I wanted to update you about is that the 5-year the 5-year bond rate has finally stabilized, and it's sitting around 1%. So if you've recapped over the last few weeks, it's come from being close to 40 basis points all the way to 1%. And the net effect of that is that we've seen 5-year fixed rates go up. And of course, the 5-year fixed rate, the 5-year variable rate are most popular rates in the Canadian market. Now, to give you an idea where rates are, so for insured mortgages, we're sitting between 1.9 to 2.10% now. So you've seen they've come up a lot from being in the mid ones. And our uninsured mortgages, they've already been up already for like the last couple weeks, but they're sitting around 2.19 to 2.39%. So you can see now we've seen that lift in those mortgage rates because of the bond. The good thing is the bond rates have finally leveled off, so we're not really thinking they're going to go up anytime soon. I think they stabilized, the dollar and oil prices have stabilized as well, so those all coordinated with each other. Now, the good news is that variable rates have actually come down. There's a lot more competition there. We're seeing the banks being a little aggressive in that area. And so, for insured mortgages, you're seeing them as low as 1.4 or less. And for uninsured mortgages, I'm seeing them as low as 1.5 to maybe 1.7%. So definitely seeing those variable rates in a very competitive stance now. Now, a big part of that is that the Bank of Canada has decided in the last week not to move the rate up. Of course, the Bank of Canada's decisions will affect the variable rate market. They've actually not only just did that, but they kind of really pushed the notion that they are really not planning to move these rates till 2023, until we see our economy moving on full capacity. And there's a lot of slack in the employment right now in the Canadian employment market. So until that is kind of really maxed out, we'll see true inflation start happening. So let's just touch base on inflation, because there's been a lot of talk about inflation in the last couple week or two, and I've noticed that a lot of headlines. And really, that's been around the fact that a lot of these hedge fund managers and movers and shakers in the stock market have been purchasing 10-year bonds, and they've been doing that because the yields of those have gone up. So that's usually a sign that they think that maybe in the next few years that they will have inflation occurring. So that's basically what that kind of indicates. But I don't think that's even really newsworthy. I mean, even the Bank of Canada wasn't really worried about inflation when they were speaking about it over the last week, and then really because the price increases we see now are really short term, right? If you see prices are up, it's because supply chains have been kind of broken down because of COVID shutdowns, all this stuff. So until the economy is really backing up and running, that's when we'll start seeing the real action and activity in regards to of inflation. So again, we also seen oil prices move up, and there's so many factors that go into that. And so what we're kind of seeing now, I think, is a little more short term. Someone I actually follow and I like to, economist that I like to check in on, see what he's saying, is Benjamin Tal. He's the chief economist at CIBC. And in full disclosure, we don't actually use CIBC in our industry. So just to let you know, I do follow him just on the merits of what he says is newsworthy. The one thing I like about him is he doesn't speak about, he's not worried about what hedge fund managers are doing, right? He keeps his ear to the ground. He kind of uses the lens of, the average Canadian when he's kind of talking and speaking about the economy and the way he views things. So I always like that, and he always touches base on home prices. I have a link, actually, I'll share with you, of his latest talk about what he feels the rates are doing and what's happening. But one thing that struck me that he was saying is that, debt is here. There's a big worry about inflation and rates going up because of the debt size everyone has. But, the governments themselves have spent more money in the last little while over the last year than they ever have in history, okay? So the truth is they're going to keep rates down because they're the ones that are going to be refinancing all this debt and keeping their costs down. You gotta remember, they control the rates and the money supply. So that's what they're planning to do. So that means our rates are gonna stay low as well. So something to consider, when you're talking about rates and inflation and all these things. The one thing I really kind of struck me too, it's like, the government is taking the time to get into debt to save us, make sure there isn't a huge recession. They're waiting for the economy to recover. And it dawned on me, like, why aren't more people refinancing now themselves? If you spent, if you have car loans and credit cards and credit line balances, and you're just kind of making minimum payments and you're finding your bank accounts running short often, those are often telltale signs. And there's obviously some sure signs that you need to refinance. So I created just a little video about what you should be looking out for and how to really take the action of making sure you are ready, or you should be refinancing. And I had that video below, and I'll definitely share with anyone that wants to see it. But it's a great time to consider refinancing yourself. If your mortgage is coming up for renewal anytime soon, take the time to maybe review the video, understand if you should be doing it, and maybe take the time to speak to me if you like about how to actually achieve that. So I appreciate everything, the feedback I've been getting from these videos. Thank you so much. If you disagree with me, if you follow a different chief economist, love to hear your opinions on what I had to say. Of course, this is my journal to you, and I wish you guys a great week. Take care.